Hello everyone, welcome to Club Reaction to Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 0 here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. I'm Scott Carney and I have the pleasure of doing this myself this afternoon. It's probably less of a reaction towards the game and probably more of where we are now as a football club. I will get it off my chest right now that should be the end of Philip Clement as the Rangers manager. And it's not something I expected to be saying at this point in the season. And it was also a phrase that I was going to try my hardest not to say because of the constant manager merry-go-round that we seem to be on right now. However, we cannot hide or shy away from what we are seeing on the football pitch right now, and that is a team that is failing. It's a manager that is failing, and it all came home to roost today. Absolutely all of it. Philip Clement had a chance at the start of the start of today, when he got out his bed this morning. He had a chance to close the gap, to get Rangers back to 3 points, to get a good bit of feeling back towards the club. Yes, it's still 3 points. Yes, we are behind, and yes, there is a lot of work to do. But we've ended this weekend one further point behind than we were at the start of the weekend. That is not acceptable. Philip Clement has failed at whatever he is trying to implement in this Rangers team. The tactics don't make sense to me. The desire of the football team, the squad, the club really as a whole right now is palpable for everybody to see. And we're going nowhere, and we're going there very fast. I can't see any sort of credible argument for keeping Clement in his manager job. And people will say, yes, the constant changing of managers and who you're going to get, etc., etc. But ultimately, we can't continue down this road because it is only going to end one way now. What we witnessed from Rangers today is awful. I mean, truly terrible. There's not one of those players on that pitch that can leave with their head held high today. Rangers were terrible all over the pitch. Absolutely shocking, because we don't really know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. I've got no idea what Philip Clement is trying to do, and we are beat with a hoofball while playing hoofball. It's just the most Rangers thing in the world. There may be board member issues at Rangers, and yes, there is. That does not excuse what we are watching on the pitch. Clement had 2 weeks with these players. Clement made the comment himself about we would see the best Rangers, or a better Rangers, as he kind of changed these words, in October and November. We're nearly at the end of October, Phil, and what we've seen today is not going to get you anywhere. Literally nowhere. We have absolutely zero credibility as a football team to be competitive in any of the competitions that we are in, because we can't take 3 points off a poor Kilmarnock side, a Kilmarnock side that have won one of the first 7 league games and conceded 17 goals in those 7 games, and we didn't even look nearly like we were going to score today, because we have no clue, we have no style, we have no tempo, we have no flair, we have no quality, we have no killer edge, we have no anything, literally anything. It was a 90 minutes of near enough nothing from Rangers today. Absolutely nothing. And I'm at the point now where I can't see how we can continue on like this. I can't see how Philip Clement can continue on as a Rangers manager. It really is as simple as that for me. I just can't see it. I can't see how anything can possibly change, because it isn't changing. If anything, it's getting worse. I'm not going to lie. If anything, it is getting worse. People about plastic pitch, yes, this and that. I'm not having it. St Johnstone went there this season and won 3-0. I'll pause for dramatic effect there. That's the team we were competing against. And yes, it's Rangers, yes, all this, all that. But nobody can say to me that they're seeing something under Clement that makes you think that he's the man, because he isn't. He just isn't. It's another failure from the board on who they've appointed. It's a failure from Clement today in terms of how he's structuring his team, how he's playing, who he's picking, where he's telling them to play. Everything, absolutely everything about it is it's got to the point now where he can't continue as Rangers manager. He really can't. Clement has slightly fallen into the trap of some managers that have went before him. And I'm not blaming individual players. Like I said, I think everybody was shocking today. I don't think anybody was good. But Tavernier continuing to play it right back when he's bringing in players that look more fitter and hungry than he is. It's one of those examples that you look at and go, well, what are you doing? You were telling us that Tavernier isn't going to play 65 games. And it sounds like I'm bashing Tav, but I'm just really picking holes in the stuff that Clement said, I think. Not picking holes, the glaring holes that are easy for everybody to see. that Tavernier wasn't going to play 65 games. He's played every game. He started every single game. We're not changing. We're not moving forward. It's just the same thing. I was so at half time today. I was going, it's exactly the same. Nothing is changing. It's just the same thing. Let's just hope we get through this game, and that's not going to work. It really isn't going to work. I knew that Kilmarnock were going to score today, and I'm not just being like that. I knew the way the second half was going. I was like, Kilmarnock will score. And if Kilmarnock score, then what? Because we've got no idea where our goals are coming from. Dessers is Cyril Dessers, and he was unbelievably bad in that first half. But even when we make changes, it's like for like. There's no difference. We're not trying anything new. It's exactly the same thing. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. We're not going to change. Clement isn't going to change. This is it. This is what you're watching. This is all Clement has. This is his idea. This is his philosophy of how he wants to play football. It's not going to work, and it isn't going to work. And today's perfect proof that it won't work. For me, it has to go. I don't know who the next Rangers manager is. That's not my job. That's not my job to say who the next Rangers manager is. And yeah, the lack of positions on the board that are vacant just now, are the positions on the board that are vacant just now. Somebody somewhere within the club's going to need to start making decisions and start getting things right, because right now we're in freefall, and that's the way it feels. The club is in absolute freefall. We've got no leadership from the top bottom. John Gilligan can say as much as he likes that there's leadership. There isn't. The club is it's literally on its way down just now, and there's nobody seeming to want to do anything about it. We need an overhaul from top to bottom, manager included, players included, captain included, all the things that we've all been speaking about for over and over and over again. It all has to happen, and it has to happen yesterday. That's the position that we find ourselves in. If we had a CEO right now, he would be looking for a new Rangers manager. It's as simple as that. Yeah, it's going to cost the club money. It's going to need to happen, because if you continue on this the way it is, it's going to end anyway. So why prolong the inevitable, really? And that's the way that I feel about it just now. I think most fans will be the same. I'm not going to lie. I think most will be pretty similar in how they feel about the club just now. The gap between us and the top of the league right now, even on points, regardless really of points, it's huge. I mean, it's absolutely massive. I honestly dread to think how we will fare against Aberdeen, never mind Celtic. And that's me being ruthlessly honest right now. We are so spineless as a team. There's no structure, there's no fight, there's no desire, there's no heart, there's no idea about what we're doing. And we are just going down a road that will only going to end one way. I think Clement will have lost the majority of fans today, and myself included. And I'm not usually like it, but there is no credible argument for me. I can't sit here and say to you guys that tune in to this pod day in, day out, when we come on and do podcasts, that I believe that Philip Clement is the man. I wanted to believe that Philip Clement was the man to take us forward, but he is not. He clearly is not. Today's a failure. Today's an absolute failure from top to bottom in what we've seen, and he has to be removed from his position. It is as simple as that. Briefly running over the game itself, the first half, honestly, was I wanted to be able to, I put a tweet out about it, I wanted to be able to give some inspiring words, to give some encouraging words about what I've just seen, but I couldn't. I honestly couldn't. It was awful. No, absolutely slow, cumbersome, no idea, no real passages of play. The only time we had some joy if you can call it that, was a long ball over the top. But again, you've got a guy like Dessers who's just not good enough to be a Rangers striker. No matter what anybody has to say, he just isn't. I think we've been trying our hardest to remain as positive as we can about players like Dessers, even like Tierney as well. They're just not good enough. They really are not good enough for what we need. Yes, we'll dig a little deeper into all of it, and the board maybe failed Clement in terms of spending and how he bought players, but it doesn't matter. He went and bought these players. He's went and bought players that he's not even playing. I don't understand it. I genuinely just don't understand it. He's made the rod for his own back with some of his comments, and what we witnessed today is so far away from where Rangers need to be. I mean, it is light years away from where Rangers need to be. It simply has to come to an end now, and we have to look forward to finding a new Rangers manager, whoever that may be. But it's going to need to happen. It really is going to need to happen. Second half, Rangers huffed and puffed for the first 10 minutes. Dessers showed up for about 5 or 10 minutes, got a shot on target that was saved by McCrory, one hit the bar. That's pretty much it. Not really much else to really go on, but I thought we should have scored there. A few Stramashes in the box. That's kind of it. A few long distance efforts. Again, that's really it. And then a long ball over the top. Suter loses his battle with his man. Kilmarnock boy gets a touch on it, deflects off Suter, past Butland into the back of the net, and that was all she wrote. As soon as they scored, I went, well, that's that over. And I meant over as in the game, and I meant as in Clermont. I am genuinely interested to see what all your comments are regarding where the future lies with Rangers, but I can't say that anyone in the podcast right now believes that Philip Clement is the man. Going by the way the group chat was today, especially at full time, I can't see how Clement can be the man to take Rangers forward. Unfortunately, that's where we've got to, and yes, we're back to the drawing board yet again. But if this is to be the transition period or whatever it may be, then get somebody in that knows what they're doing and knows how to play a bit of football and even set up a team properly, because that's not what we're seeing just now under Clement. It really isn't what we're seeing. As I say, I'm trying to cover all angles as much as I can over my wee 10, 15 minute kind of spiel here, but the lack of whatever's going on at board level, it's not an excuse for what we're seeing on the pitch. It just isn't. It can't be. It can't be an excuse for that. And a lot of the things that Clement has said in previous press conferences and previous interviews and whatever he's done, he's going to need to swallow his own words now, unfortunately, and I don't think he can even look at that and think, yes, there's real progress there. And I've yet to see his post match or whatever, and I'm sure it'll run on and on and on. But yeah, not the Sunday that I wanted, not what I expected. I honestly thought Rangers will at least get the win. I genuinely did think that we would get the win. Wasn't expecting kind of superb football or anything to really write home about, but I expected us to win a game against a struggling Kilmarnock side. Who weren't very good. I mean, they had their odd chance and all that, but that's just purely because of how poor we play and the kind of scattergun approach we have to win our balls in the air. It just tends to send panic throughout the entire team, and it spread to everybody today, even to Butland at points today. It spread to him. But yeah, we're at the point now where I can't put an argument forward for wanting to keep Philip Clement at the football club. I don't think he'll get one back. We all know how this story goes in terms of when most of the Rangers support have make their feelings known. That it's hard to win it back. He's got Aberdeen coming up as well. I mean, I know I'm saying that as if I'm saying get rid of him. I don't think the board will get rid of him. But my opinion is that he should go. But I think he'll still be here for that Aberdeen match. If he gets beat off Aberdeen, then what? We've just delayed a couple of weeks for what reason? For what reason at all? To me, there is no reason. There is no reason, because there's every chance that Aberdeen beat us, and I can't believe as a Rangers fan that I am saying that. I generally am, but that's all down to what I'm seeing on the football pitch. It's nothing to do with my club. It's nothing to do with the way I feel about Rangers. It's to do with that team. It's to do with that manager. It's to do with what we are seeing on that football pitch. Your eyes don't lie. Your eyes don't lie. You can bat out stats as much as he likes and whatever he wants, but your eyes will not lie about what we're watching. Today was a failure, an absolute failure, and Clement has to be removed from his position, in my opinion. Rangers have to look for the next Rangers manager, and yeah, it's the state that we find ourselves in. There's a lot of work to do at Rangers right now, a hell of a lot of work. We will be with you every step of the way, don't you worry about that, but there is a lot of work, and it needs to start right now. Rangers have to concentrate on getting the right people in the right jobs as quickly as humanly possible, and one of them positions is going to be the Rangers manager. In my opinion, there has to be a new Rangers manager. Really is as simple as that. Very little about the game, more about my feelings, I think, about how we all feel. But there's no point in breaking down a game that was a bit of a car crash from start to finish from Rangers. And yeah, it leaves in a very tricky position now going forward. We will bring much more reaction to this during the week. I'm hopefully have somebody else on with me on Tuesday night for Club Deck Corner, as we are going to need to have a real conversation, I think, about where Rangers go now in terms of moving forward from this, because we are in a position now where, as I said, I think we're free falling. I really do. I think we are in a bit of a sorry state, and it's going to take a miraculous bit of effort from the powers that be, the people that have put themselves and will refuse to remove themselves from them positions. It's now up to them. It's up to them to show that you've got leadership, show you've got a bit of guile, show you've got a bit of heart and desire that this club right now is lacking. from top to bottom, we need changes, and we need them yesterday. So, yes, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me rant on for 15 minutes. Not ideal, really, really not ideal. But hopefully I'll have somebody else on Tuesday night. We'll kind of wait for the dust to settle a little bit, and we'll analyse where we think we are and what we think should happen next. If you can, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for tuning in. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and I'll speak to you on Tuesday. Cheers, everybody.